Introducing the Open Palm Podcast with host Jerome Shaw, available today on your favorite podcast platforms. The Open Palm Podcast is a positive, uplifting, motivational, and inspirational podcast. The host brings his insight and philosophy, and you can't help but gravitate towards his smile, his words, and his wisdom. Again, the podcast he hosts is titled The Open Palm Podcast. It's about inspirational messages, motivating themes, and thought-provoking ideas and topics. He'll also help you become more aware and in harmony with your own life, giving you a better understanding of your place in the world and using your skills accordingly, greeting the world with an open palm instead of a closed fist. You can find the show today on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. You can also connect with the host on Instagram at Jerome Shaw. That's JROMESHAW on Instagram. Jerome Shaw with the Open Palm Podcast. Motivation, meditation, mentality. Go listen, download, and subscribe today.
There's a story about two friends walking together by a river. One of the men's name was Zhuangsu. One day, Zhuangsu and the friend, as they were walking by the river, said, "Look at the fish swimming about. They are really enjoying themselves," said Zhuangsu. "You are not a fish," replied the friend, "so you cannot truly know that they are enjoying themselves." "You are not me," said Zhuangsu. "So how do you know that I do not know that the fish are enjoying themselves?" Do any of us really know anyone else's true self or soul? How can we ever speak to the existence or to the thought processes of others? One of my favorite words that I've spoken before on this podcast is called sonder. S-O-N-D-E-R. Many people don't know about this word, but I found this word out from a friend. The word sonder is a noun, meaning the realization that each passerby has a life as vivid and complex as your own. Meaning that these people you see around you, these animals, these life forms, these beings, are not just actors in your play, are not just puppets on the strings coming from your mind, but they have their own lives, as vivid and complex as your own. This realization, sonder, can be scary for some, to know that they are not the only ones that think, they are not the only ones that imagine. We may not know how others are feeling. We may not know what others are thinking, but we can imagine. We can imagine. Perhaps only others know how they feel, and maybe even them don't know. Who really knows? Does it really matter? But yet, we can imagine. I imagine that the fish in the river swimming about were enjoying themselves. Why not imagine some positive things in life? If none of it is true, the choice is up to you. Thank you for listening, my friend. This has been Jerome Shaw on TOP, the Open Palm Podcast here in San Antonio, Texas. I pray you received an encouraging message letting you know that many other people and other life forms may be living completely separate lives, separate thoughts, separate feelings, separate forms of existence from your own. But is it wrong to imagine what they might be feeling, even if it isn't true? Is it wrong to be a human being having human perception and thinking what a dog or a cat or a fish might be feeling? Imagination is more important than knowledge, said Albert Einstein, and I choose to believe it so. Share this episode with a like-minded individual, learning and growing, becoming their greatest version just like you, being all they can be, and using their imagination to the fullest. Pay it forward so more can hear the message. And if this is your very first time receiving this podcast, definitely subscribe for more inspirational messages like this. And if you feel it in your heart to support, consider opening your browser to anchor.fm/jshaw. Clicking that support link there is much appreciated. Big shout out and thank you to all the wonderful supporters who continue to donate and contribute to the podcast, making it possible for episodes like this. Have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, my friend. And as always, take care. Hey there, my friend. So you've heard about Anchor, but do you know why it's the easiest way to make a podcast? Well, first off, it's free. It allows you to use creation tools that let you record your podcast right from your phone or computer. It also distributes your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more platforms. You can even make money from your podcast with minimum listenership. It's everything you need in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. Can't wait to hear yours. Let's see what you have to offer the world.